Hey guys, so before we commence with the original run of this podcast episode, we just finished recording and we literally just found out about Chadwick Boseman's passing as soon as we finished recording, and we didn't feel it was necessary to just kind of leave this and kind of discuss it, after a week. We just kind of want to quickly put our thoughts into this before we start the episode and kind of separate it away from everything else, which is kind of why the podcast will have a different tone. We didn't find out about this until literally at the end of the episode. So this will be a quick little 5-minute discussion. And I want to say that here at Keeping Up with the Nerds, we want to dedicate this episode, even though it's nowhere related to, Marvel stuff. We want to dedicate this to Chadwick Boseman. Jesus, like I know, yeah. It's we want to dedicate this episode to him, mainly because it's actors like him that really inspire and bring to life, the characters that we grew up with and that keep inspiring us and keep motivating us to be who we are. Yeah. His work as the Black Panther was, in my opinion, one of the most inspiring pieces out there. Really brought to life a character that wasn't that big or well known in the Marvel universe, and put him out there into the public and made him be well known and a major character in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and in the comic books as well. He pretty much breathed new life into the character. So that's why this episode will have a different tone, and we here at Keeping Up with the Nerds want to dedicate this episode to him. It's reported that he died at age 43 after a 4-year battle with colon cancer, which I don't think
he even posted that.
Nothing.
There was a time, I think he did post a picture. I think it was like maybe a month ago, 2 months ago. He did look skinnier, but they said because, no new, people were just assuming there was no new projects coming out, that he was just kind of like relaxing and just, trying to stay clear of the, pandemic and stuff. But to find out that it was actually because of cancer, I mean, that obviously that's his own privacy. He didn't want to put that out there. He didn't want to. I think basically he didn't want to make anyone sad when he was going through all this. I think because like you said, he impacted a lot of people through Black Panther, and now it just hit me too that it's like they were gonna do Black Panther 2, and now it's like obviously he can't do it. It's not, but it's just amazing that he kept it to himself like throughout this whole time. 4 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's left an impact on the community. Heavy impact. He will
always be immortalized.
Yeah.
As Black Panther, and he did a phenomenal job of bringing that character to life, and to, especially that whole culture. He inspired everyone, you know.
Yeah. Especially in an industry that hasn't necessarily been very vocal about people of color being on the screen and stuff like that. He essentially made a major character like that massive. So with that said, we dedicate this episode to Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah.
And to all his relatives, friends, family members. Thoughts and prayers. I know it usually doesn't mean much, but he is a big he's made a big impact in the community, and we wish his family and friends well during these hard times. So with that said, this is why this tone is different. The podcast will have a completely different tone. We didn't find out about this, but we felt it was necessary to at least speak a little bit about it before moving on. But with that said, thank you, Chadwick Boseman. Thank you for everything that you've done, and I mean, there's really nothing else to say, but just thanks.
Well, let's close out with the saying, Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. That will forever be immortalized by him. So, yes. And with that said, rest of the listeners, stay tuned for the beginning of the podcast. Thank you, guys. You're recording now?
I'm recording now.
Usually you just let it record and we talk.
This time I wanted to give you a heads up.
Yeah, you're on the front. You're on the computer this time around.
Yeah.
You're on the main frame.
Yeah.
It's not the Fortress of Geekitude anymore.
Fortress of Geekitude. The Hall of Nerdom is back and running, guys.
We got it back.
Got it back.
Heck yes.
But
We're
the
back.
sound on the Fortress of Geekitude, man, your setup's nice. I gotta admit.
I'm telling you, it's editing because look, I'll tell you right now. So if their listeners haven't seen the videos and everything that was posted about this week, we'll talk about it once the intro happens. But
that's my keys.
What
is that?
What? All I'm using is a HyperX mic. It literally is like a mic. I told you about this. It's like it costs like about $150. It's a USB mic. It's a really good looking mic.
And then I just love that it records like all the sounds, like the gain on it, and they just tap the top of it, and
that's
like,
it. But it's a USB mic, so the audio isn't necessarily this level.
It's not like like this is kind of like an auxiliary kind of like setup. That's forming it into digital.
Exactly.
Yours is all digital.
It's all digital.
Yeah.
So you didn't we were trying when we were doing like the previews before the edits and stuff like that. If you noticed, there was a lot of like that.
Yeah.
All of that needed to be denoised, and then it needed to be compressed so that way it could sound better. And then with the music in the background, you get less noise because it's amplifying your voice. So that's all it is. It's not like it like, I mean, it sounds good, but it's like it's called editing. You know, that's the beauty of it. Yeah. So
the magic.
Yeah. So you know what? Like, have faith that there's content no matter what, because we will have other places in case something happens here.
There's always a backup.
Yes. The Hall of Nerdom may have fallen. It is back up and running now, but we always have the Fortress of Geekitude out there. The Nerd Cave, unfortunately, is not accessible because you never invite anyone, just like Batman.
I don't, because my place is sacred.
What did we did? I don't think we recorded that where it's like it's so funny how, because I think DC hideouts have been more memorable than Marvel ones, at least in my opinion.
No, it's it's easier to remember certain places in the DC universe because you have the Batcave. You have the Fortress of Solitude.
The Watchtower.
The Hall of Justice.
The Hall of Justice is beautiful.
Yeah. And I think they even mentioned that Green Arrow has a hideout, and they call it like the Arrow Cave.
The Arrow. They were making fun of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They was like, oh, well, can it be creative? Like, does it really have to copy Batman? So, yeah. And what did I tell you? That if we follow according to our hideouts, the Fortress of Geekitude basically makes me the Superman of the group, and this makes you Batman. And you're like, yes, I'm going to take this.
I'll take it.
You take it.
I'll take it when I get it.
All right. Did you already open your bang?
No. Oh, yeah, dude.
What the heck, man?
I'm sorry. It looked delicious.
Whoa, Jesus, man.
You've never tried this one. So what's this? So tell the listeners which one you're drinking.
Purple guava pears. I'm telling you, why are we advertising these guys when they haven't sponsored us?
We got to tweet at them.
Ooh.
It's good, right?
It's like calming.
Right?
It's calming for something that's going to like get you going.
This one, I mean, I've tried it and it's good, but I haven't had sour heads in a while, so that's why I was like, okay, cool.
All right, I'll take it. Yeah, but I'm not going to need the bang for the topics that we're talking about today, because holy crap, did I just finish something that was beautiful.
Oh my God. It's funny how right before I do the intro, it's just funny how each episode so far that we've done is like DC based.
Yeah, because they've been killing it the last couple of weeks.
Marvel hasn't really,
Well, whose fault is that for not releasing content?
Oh.
Oh my God,
he's right here.
Talking cover.
You guys are talking.
Whoa, that freaked me out. Don't. I legitimately was not looking at you for a second.
You guys are talking bad on my platform.
Oh my God.
You legitimately got
I was scared, dude. I legitimately thought, was like, what the heck is that? All right, before you give me any more scares, can we go into the intro?
Let's go to the intro.
All right, buddy. It's your turn.
My turn.
Let's kill this.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, aiming to be Whittier's #1 podcast on all things nerdy. I'm your host, Rene.
Bryan.
And welcome to the show, guys.
Heck yes. 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 Yes.
That was smooth.
Renee, you're killing these intros. Issue 13. Wow, 13. Issue 13.
I'm surprised we got to issue 10.
I mean, yes, like granted, it's only been like what, it's 4 weeks. We've released an issue every week.
Yeah.
So 3 months?
3 months.
3-ish months. 3 months and something.
Continuously. We haven't taken a break either.
No, which is good.
Yeah.
This is good. Like, we got the momentum. We got the viewership and the listeners, you know, even though, and you know what? We started off with like 9 or 20 something subscribers. We got like 3 more this week. So just a quick rundown. So yes, this is issue 13. 3 months active. Last week was our crazy week.
That was a big episode for us.
A big week, not an episode. A big week.
Well, I mean, episode and like recording and content that we had to do on one day.
Yeah.
but and especially with conditions that we had to do as well too. We knocked that week out pretty well.
We killed it.
Yeah.
I you know what? We'll let the listeners and viewers decide.
Yeah.
If we killed it, but I think we should pat ourselves on the back for the amount of work that we did.
Yeah.
So if you guys are new to the show or did not know, we do have a YouTube channel, Keeping Up with the Nerds. If you look that up on YouTube, it is, from my experience at least, the first thing that pops up on there. But we pretty much released 3 videos alongside our podcast. The first video was released on Monday. Let me look at the day real quick just to give you guys an accurate kind of description of this. So Monday, August 24th, we released our initial thoughts of the DC FanDome event, and that is the 2 of us on screen.
Yeah, and we just talked about the event. We didn't talk about anything in particular because we wanted to just have me and Bryan talking about just the event itself and how it was presented and stuff like that. Exactly.
So that was the first video. Then Wednesday at 11:30 was the release of issue 12.
Yes,
issue 12 of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour, and that was the entirety of the DC FanDome. Yeah, it is the extended issue. Yes. That was an extended issue because the first hour and 5 minutes is mainly all DC stuff that was released on there. Kind of the smaller snippets of it, Suicide Squad movie, the game.
We kind of had to talk about everything because it was just a big event. And it was only fair to mention everything that was presented. Yeah.
And then the last 40 minutes, the big one.
Yeah.
The Batman
teaser trailer. I still get people coming in. They're still talking about it. And it's funny because I've talked about it so much now that I forget who I talked about it with. And then I'm just ringing people up here at the shop and they're like, so what do you think of the Batman trailer? I'm like, oh yeah, we didn't talk about it. I was like, because I've talked about it so much, and I don't mind talking about it, but it's just like you guys have to remind me.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, that's the thing.
The Batman trailer, teaser, whatever you want to call it, brought me so much joy. Yeah, like I'm still in love with it.
So okay, let's talk about it just a little bit because I do feel like we need to talk about it again after because
revisit the revisiting. Hold up, before we do.
Yes.
Let me finish off.
Go for it.
The last 2 videos.
Sorry.
So Wednesday was the podcast. Thursday was my solo video with my initial thoughts, the 3 things that I liked about the DC FanDome. Yeah. And then the Friday video was Rene's solo video.
Not so good video, but okay. Yeah. I still think I'm cringing that video.
Rene, you are excellent. And I told you that it's editing. Yeah. Editing is the savior magic of everything. True, yeah. My superpower may not be flight. It's editing. And I'm still trying to figure some things out here. All right. I'm still learning. I'm young Superman. Okay. So just give me a moment to figure out how I'm doing this. But yes, it's editing just does it. But yes, if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, head on over to our YouTube channel. Everything is on there for our listeners that are listening to on Podbean and Spotify. Yeah. And likewise, if you guys are on the YouTube channel, jump on over to the Podbean and Spotify accounts and follow that stuff on there as well. We've been getting some good traction, which is good.
I'll be posting little clips from the videos on our Instagram so you guys see what it is, and then you could just go and watch the whole video on YouTube.
And you guys, we welcome any sort of interaction, any compliments, any concerns, anything that you guys want to comment on that stuff as well. If you guys feel like you guys want to put in your 2 cents as well, we will always talk and, reply back to those things.
Speaking of compliments.
Yes.
Today, I actually had a legit fan come in at the store. He lives far away. He's a friend of Rebel, apparently.
Friend of the show?
Friend of the show, Rebel. His name's Eric, or he goes by Gibby. He says he might know you.
The name sounds familiar.
Yeah. And he's just like, he came in with his mom, and he's like, wait, are you Rene? I'm like, yes.
What?
I'm like,
oh, goes, that is.
Yeah, that was, I can't. I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, I'm a huge fan of Keeping Up with the Nerds. I love you guys so much. He's listened to every episode on Spotify. He goes, he loves what we talk about. He even remembered like all the stuff we were talking about, like comic wise. He goes, because he was like, do you guys have Last Night on Earth, or do you guys have Fables? You guys were talking about that on the last one or a couple episodes ago. I'm like, yeah, we have it here and stuff like that. And it was really nice to hear a compliment, and thank you again, Rebel, a friend of the show. He recommended it to him.
I am touched.
Podcast. Yes,
I am extremely touched.
Yeah, he's a huge fan. He says he got caught up. He's gonna listen to the DC FanDome podcast right now. And I told him we're gonna record another one today. And I told him I'll mention him on the show. So Eric, aka Gibby, thank you so much for your compliments.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Gosh, man.
If you listen to this, comment down below your social media so I can tag you and stuff like that. You know?
We appreciate it.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of hard work that goes into this. So so we appreciate it. Man, I'm touched. I'm touched.
Another little happy moment to add on to this episode for you, you know.
Yeah, no, it's good.
There you go. Yeah, no, again, I'm always shocked when people do that because, you know, they come in, they go, "You're Rene," or you're like, "Oh, wait, I listened to your podcast." I'm like, "Whoa, wow, thank you."
Whoa, okay.
To have feedback, it's weird, but then also it touches my heart as well too. So thank you again.
Yes, and you know, we enjoy the work we do here. Yes. We enjoy. What issue did we say it? Issue 10 or 11, where we said that like we always look forward to coming in on recording days. and stuff.
Yeah, it's just so much fun. Like I've never had so much fun doing a podcast, you know, and I've never ever had this far into it and still looking forward to do another episode.
Every episode and see our growth. Okay, so going into that.
Yes.
I know you want to touch a little bit on Matt Reeves' Batman.
Yes.
But
go ahead.
Before we go, I do want to tease something real quick, if it's okay with you, about future projects that we might be considering. For this for the brand, pretty much. But we were talking about this because we talk about this podcast trying to be Whittier's #1 podcast for all things nerdy. Yeah. We say it that way, and we mentioned it in issues before. We say it this way because this is our home base, pretty much, and we want to pay tribute to the city that, you know, Rene and I met, you know, and how we grew our friendship together, and you know, this is pretty much where we've established ourselves, you know, and we want to try to do everything possible to push the city in a good light. So something that we are probably considering, given that Whittier is a famous location for a lot of film sets, there might be a possibility that Rene and I will kind of do a short little series on YouTube going around to different parts of Whittier, you know, property management allowing, you know, owners allowing us to do so, to go out and record and talk about these locations and, you know, talk about the films that, or the commercials or whatever, you know, shows use the backgrounds or the backdrops to film these locations or film on these locations and stuff like that and bring light to them. So that may be something we might be doing, hopefully soon. It is going to be a lot of work because it's just the two of us kind of going at this.
Yeah, so like you said, it's going to be once a month.
Probably.
Most likely it's going to be once a month because, again, like you said, it's going to take a little time because we want to make sure we have all the facts down. We have the right permission and we have, you know, the right, we want to make things smooth and we want to make sure what we're doing is okay to do.
Exactly. I mean, if you guys don't know, Whittier is the home of the, just to give you an example, because there are multiple locations and we want to make sure that we are talking to the right people before we mention it, but one of them, Whittier High School. Yeah. It is the location of Back to the Future. Yeah. Back to the Future 1.
Yeah, in the high school scene where that's where they filmed it, you know, all of that. So
the admin building is the scene where he leaves his bike and walks up to the front steps. The auditorium on the side is pretty much the location that was used where he was locked up in the trunk. Marty McFly was locked up in the trunk. And then the street that's, I think, is it perpendicular? What is it called when it's like right in front?
Oh, the cross streets.
Yeah, the cross street, whatever it's called. One of the houses there is the principal's house as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so...
Cool.
Yeah, so we want to talk about that and bring light to that, you know, kind of pay tribute to this. Mention our city a little bit more, our home base. Definitely. So it's something that we want to do. Yes. With that said, this episode will be a lighter one, given that last week was heavy. It was intensive. It was a lot of work.
A lot of stuff happened last week, or on Saturday alone.
Yeah.
That, you know, giving you another hefty episode is not fair to you guys.
No,
you know?
So we're going back to our normal issues.
Trying to keep it within an hour, no more than an hour and 10.
Yes. So chill back. Let's sit back, relax, just chill,
listen to our voices.
Yeah, and let's take it away with Matt Reeves' Batman again.
So basically, what I wanted to say was, now that it's a week in that this trailer dropped, have you talked to anyone else about it? Have you heard any people that are still discouraged by it, or people that are that you didn't expect are excited now and stuff like that?
I've seen mostly memes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it's been so from what I've seen is that a lot of the people that were defending Robert Pattinson are now starting to come out and be like, what did I tell you guys?
What did I tell you?
What did I tell you?
There are some people that are actually saying, or then also there are some people that are like, okay, I may have been wrong about Robert Pattinson.
Oh, if you still deny that Robert Pattinson might not be a good Batman.
I still have people coming in. I had a dad come in and he mentioned it. And he's like, I don't have complete faith, but that's because I don't want to be disappointed.
Does he probably like George Clooney Batman?
No, I don't. I think he's more in the line of like both Christian Bale and Ben Affleck Batman.
Oh, that's okay. Ben Affleck's good. The Christian Bale is like,
okay, yeah. I mean, me and Bryan will admit that Nolan's Batman was good as a movie.
It was entertaining.
It was good movies.
Yes,
but not great Batman movies.
Look, I love Christian Bale's acting.
Christian Bale's a great actor.
Yeah, but as far as Batman goes, I'll even put it this way, and I might get some people mad when I say this.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. The controversy.
It's only 15 minutes in this episode. And we're
yes.
making this.
Will Arnett's Batman is probably better, and he was aiming more towards a comedian Batman.
That's the thing too.
Yeah. So I enjoyed Will Arnett's Batman better than Christian Bale's. Christian Bale was good, but it's not like,
Pause for nerd rage.
And scene. But yeah, so
so overall, like I said, I'm super excited for this movie now. I've watched the trailer like so many times. I can't stop watching it, and now to the point where I'm watching reactions, trailers to this, like people reacting to it.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it's more. I think, if anything, it was 50-50 of, like, Robert Pattinson being Batman. Now it's, like, I want to say it's, like, a good maybe 75 or 80-20.
80-20 is what I want to say. I've seen the memes where my favorite one is the one with the bird that's given a cracker. And the cracker's labeled Robert Pattinson. Yeah. And it's it says Robert Pattinson, and it's like, no, take this thing away from me. Bites into it. Oh. Yeah. Oh. It's good. And, here's the thing, is that for me, the reason why there was a little bit of doubt with Robert Pattinson is because Robert Pattinson is tied with, and I think I mentioned it in issue 12, he's tied with Twilight.
Twilight, yeah.
And it's for me at least, it's such a hard thing to split them up.
Yeah, I think it's our generation too, our generation and older, that when we see or hear Robert Pattinson, you can't help but think Twilight. Same thing, but the thing is, same thing happened with Ben Affleck when he was cast. People were like, as soon as he was cast, the first thing they thought of was Daredevil.
Mm-hmm. And well, he's just trying to be a better Batman.
Yeah, basically, yeah. So, and then, like I said, the same thing happened with Michael Keaton. It was like Beetlejuice is being Batman. What? There's
always that kind of doubt.
Yeah, there's always backlash whenever a Batman or an actor that's going to portray Batman is cast.
I mean, it's the same thing with Spider-Man. People like Spider-Man and Superman. You always want to make sure that you have a good actor to portray the character that you love the most. So that's completely understandable. For me, at least, I got into I wouldn't say a Twitter feud, but it was like kind of going back and forth because one of my friends pretty much posted on Twitter. Yeah. She tweeted, Edward looks so different. And I literally was just like, no, he belongs to the nerds now.
We have him now.
He's not yours anymore. So, I mean, if we can split him away, I think that we'll be able to enjoy him a little bit more. And granted, I think that this teaser trailer that Matt Reeves put out did that. It gave a lot of people hope of what to expect from this Batman movie. At least for you, has it settled in? For me, let me put it this way. When I was editing your video, I had to see the trailer like 3 or 4 more times. Yeah. And
because you put in little clips of it.
I put the beating scene on there where he
but then you
beats
also
up the
added
thug.
Little things.
Exactly. Oh yeah, I forgot. That was oh my god, yeah. But I caught myself rewatching the whole trailer again, going like, Jesus, man, this trailer is just so good. Yeah. The bat suit, beautiful. God, it's just so beautiful.
So I was scrolling through Instagram really quick to interject. I was going through Instagram. Someone already made the mask from Riddler's mask. It's like all green and everything. I was like, dang, the trailer just dropped a week ago. Someone was already making merch for cosplays already.
But we don't even know how the Riddler looks like.
Yeah, that's the thing, But they made a mask already from the trailer. They did a light up. They fixed up the contrast and stuff so they know what color it was, because it looked like it was just duct tape, but it's not. It's actually like.
Well, keep in mind that person that we saw, even though we are assuming it is the Riddler, we don't know if it's the Riddler.
Thing, yeah.
Because a lot of people are still saying, "Oh, it's the duct tape killer." But it's like, okay, well, is he or is he not? Or is he just a goon and the Riddler? Is it weird to say that that Matt Reeves isn't giving us the look of the Riddler that easy?
That's true. No, I believe that. Definitely.
That he's just kind of like, because he gave us Cobblepot.
He gave us Cobblepot, yeah.
Pre-Cobblepots and pre-Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he gave them us. Like, no, wait, that did not sound right. He gave them to us. Like, he made us, he showed off something there, right? Showed off the Batmobile, which is, oh my God, man, that Batmobile is beautiful.
Oh, yeah. It's like
beautiful.
Like a Charger or something. I don't know.
It reminds me of old school Knight Rider, David Hasselhoff's version of Knight Rider with like the thruster of the Batman animated series Batmobile.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mixture of the two. Sleek, beautiful, quick, young, like Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
It's a young Batman's Batmobile.
Basically.
Yeah. So I love that. But I kind of feel that Matt Reeves with this trailer was like, yeah, you think you've seen it all. You haven't seen it all. And then a friend of the show, Bishop, actually told me that Alfred.
Andy Serkis?
Yeah. He was the voice of the apes.
Yeah.
In Planet of the Apes.
He was Caesar.
Yeah. And I'm like, what?
You didn't know that?
No! I'm terrible at connecting two and two pieces. So I was like, God, Matt Reeves. I'm just astounded, man.
Yeah.
Just out of
excited.
I part of me is kind of happy being a little bit naive, because when people tell me these things, I'm just like, whoa, man, this is so cool. I didn't even know. It's like I'm learning things again new. But sometimes it's a bad thing. Like when I found out that 2D from Gorillaz is the lead singer of Blur.
Oh, really?
You don't know who that is?
No.
Oh, well, because Gorillaz is my favorite band.
Yeah.
I love the Gorillaz, but for the longest time, I've never put a face to the animated people.
Yeah.
Until like a couple months back, I was hanging out at a friend's house, and they put this band Blur. I'm trying to think of the song. It's not coming to my head, but
the lead singer?
The lead singer sounded really familiar. He's like, yeah, he's 2D from Gorillaz. And I'm like, no, he's not. And I sat down. I'm like, wow, thanks for ruining this for me.
I could have died like not knowing that.
People knew, but I'm just like, for the longest time, I'm like, yeah, I don't like, for me, I don't want to see the, like, music wise. I know we're going into music now.
No.
We'll get back into it. Like I said, short episode. We'll get into the good stuff afterwards. But Daft Punk, I never want to see them without their masks, even though there are photos on there.
Yeah.
I love Daft Punk for what it is.
There's another one, yeah.
And Gorillaz, I don't really care. Don't really want to see who the people are behind them. I just enjoy their music for what they are.
Yeah.
I don't want to see anything particularly about them that ruins them, at least in my eyes, for me. So that's for me. But yeah, going back to the Batman. Anything else? Maybe
no, that was pretty much it. Yeah, because I just want, now that it's a weekend, people are now establishing their opinions and stuff. The whole high of it is simmered down. The initial feelings of like, oh, I loved it. It was so cool. Now it's like, okay, it's been a week. Let's see what other opinions have said. And it's still this, and I still hear the ones that are not negative, but the people that are not like grabbed by it yet. It's still it's the same thing. It's Robert Pattinson as Batman. But I always tell them like, well, the thing is that what they did a smart thing where instead of showing off, like how, just the the essence of him, they showed how violent he is.
Well, it's year 2.
Yeah.
It's year 2 Batman. He's still kind of learning the ropes of his limits and stuff. I want to say that this trailer will probably stay it'll stay with us for quite a while.
Yeah.
Matt Reeves doesn't need to tease anything until maybe
not until
next summer.
The movie's fully done, after they wrap up filming. But again, I've never been so excited for a movie like this since Endgame.
Oh my God.
It's been a while, because movies, the trailers that came out, I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, that looks awesome. But again, no, I haven't been excited for watching a trailer and then being excited for that said movie since Avengers Endgame. I
would even say if Matt Reeves didn't release anything until the movie came out, I'd be happy with that.
Oh, same here. Yeah, actually,
I kind of don't want. I don't want to.
No, I'm fine with this. Just keep doing what you're doing. Give me a trailer like as soon as when you're done filming and basically when you have all the visual effects and everything like that. If we can get one, I will ask for one more trailer, but that's because no,
I wouldn't. I'm good with what I got.
Warner Brothers are gonna do it anyway.
Well, yeah, it's to build up hype.
It's to build hype. But if they were to do basically one more trailer, obviously it would has to be a vibe of what the story is going to be.
Okay.
This trailer gave us the whole vibe of the film.
The atmosphere.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if anything, the next trailer will be a vibe of what the story will be.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I can see where you're going with it. Yeah. I'll agree. I agree. Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. Yeah. Just don't give away too much.
No, don't do it. I think Matt Reeves knows that, how Batman fans are and how DC fans are. So I think he's smart enough not to basically
he's respecting us pretty well.
Yeah.
I feel respected as a fan.
I feel it.
Yeah. But it's because he's approaching this with care. Even like I said in his interview, he understood how to talk about certain stuff.
He was kind of he was a more calm James Gunn.
Yeah.
You could tell he's really into what he's doing in this film, and he knows what to establish. He knows what he wants to show fans and stuff like that. That's why it's I have complete faith in him. He blew me away with the Planet of the Apes, like we said. In our other podcasts, he blew us away with the Planet of the Apes series. So yeah, I have complete faith in him and Batman.
It feels like he's an artist.
Yeah,
painting this.
This is going to be a multiple movie thing, because I would like to see more characters.
I would too, but I also kind of want to. But it's also Matt Reeves.
Yeah.
So there might be a possibility that
he could do a trilogy and just show us
I'd be happy if he did the Planet of the Apes trilogy, where he just backs off from the second one and then goes back in and does the third one. Mm-hmm. And he ends it the same way the third one ended.
Spoilers. He kills off Batman?
No, tragedy.
Oh, like a tragedy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's reasons as to why.
The tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah. There's don't kill the Batman. Don't be Nolan. But
did he really though?
Is he really? Is he really dead?
You gotta think about it. But yeah. So yeah, I'm excited. Obviously. So let's move on.
Okay. So, Batman. And this whole week, I think it's just been kind of still floating around that just kind of smaller snippet things, things have just come out. Gamescom is happening this weekend. Yes. So we are recording this not on our Sunday, but on a Friday evening. Just kind of giving yourselves a weekend to rest a little bit and stuff like
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. I was when you texted me we want to do it Friday. You want to do it tonight? I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's just do it.
Let's knock it out. Not that we don't love doing it. I think we just need the weekend to rest after this whole week. Yeah. But Gamescom is happening this week. And then there were a couple little announcements here and there that were announced that we kind of want to mention to this podcast just to kind of put out there on the light. Mm-hmm. It was announced this week, at least. Do you want to start with yours, or do you want to start with
I'll start with mine.
Okay, go for it.
Mine basically is I am a PlayStation person, so right now I am waiting for the PlayStation 5 to come out.
A lot of us are.
But they did happen to originally it was leaked. Now Sony has confirmed it that the pricing for the PS5 will be for the disc drive console. It will be $499. Yeah, it's $499.
No, they have not announced it.
Oh, they haven't?
No, it's still rumored.
Leaked?
Yes.
Really? They haven't even confirmed
So
it.
Here's the problem with this whole thing. And for the listeners who are, we've talked about this before. Yeah. It was one of our first videos. So if you go to the YouTube channel, it's one of the first videos on there. Please go and check that out. We talk about pretty much our predictions on the pricing and what we expect to see from the new Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5. But supposedly the information that has been coming out is that the pricing is rumored to be pretty expensive, over a $500 mark, and that if you want to pre-order the system, you're going to have to be really, really lucky, and that supposedly Sony is implementing a raffle system to be able to pre-order them.
See, I don't like that, no.
It's such a, this console is really anticipated. Yeah. Not even the Series X is getting this much attention from,
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because this whole time there's been just talks and talks about the PlayStation 5 and reserving your own copy, or your own system. And it's also been anticipated that if it's over a $500 limit, that it might hurt its sales.
That definitely. I mean, that's basically, that was the limit for me. If it is over $500, that's retail. That's not including tax or anything. Then I probably wouldn't get it. If it was marketed, if it was marketed as $599, the disc drive at least, no, I probably wouldn't get it. Not right away, like you said.
Keep in mind, in the predictions, I said that there was going to be a price difference between the disc and the disc-less.
The disc-less,
so you just gave a static price of $499.
Yeah.
Do you want to change that at all?
For the console and the features in it, and then the way that Sony has presented it, I can stick with a $499 price range.
For which one?
For the disc drive.
For the disc.
For the disc, because
then $450 for a discless?
No, $399. They said it's $100 less. for the discless.
For a discless.
Yeah, for just straight up just digital. Which so for me, when it came to getting the PS5 or the PlayStation over Xbox, for me, the deciding factor has always been that I get a Blu-ray player out of the PlayStation.
Yes.
And that's always been
because it's part of your entertainment system.
Yeah, it's part of, and then it's not only just because I don't use a PlayStation just for gaming. I use it for other things. I watch Netflix. I watch Hulu. It's basically my streaming device.
It's like your Roku.
Too. Yeah,
it's the nerd's version of a Roku.
Yeah, and for it to be over $500, I was like, you know what, I don't have to get it right away if it is over $500. Because I won't get this discless one because I'm like, no, I don't want that. I want a Blu-ray player because I have Blu-rays at home that I would watch.
We're still in the era where we collect DVDs and Blu-rays.
Yeah,
I still do that too.
I still do that. I always like to have a hard copy because in case the internet goes out or apocalypse,
That's as a nerd, we have to think of the potential apocalypse.
It's always in my head. What if one day the end of the world happens and I can't watch a movie? After I'm done killing some guy for a can of corn, I wanna watch the Batman movie.
Why the least nutritious food is the one you mentioned? You couldn't have mentioned beans or peas. It had to be corn. One of the food items that your stomach cannot digest. Let me tell you, Rene, if you're gonna kill a man for food, you better do protein, and it has to be beans. Okay.
I'm assuming protein's gonna be gone.
No. We need protein.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about like we're well into the apocalypse too. Like
alcohol.
I can't survive on alcohol. I barely drink.
I should do a series where like I talk about like my post-apocalyptic like survival guide.
We'll do an episode about that. How about that?
No, because it makes me sound crazy.
I'll do it with you. It's like a plan. No.
Every time I talk about this subject, I swear people look at me like I have a tinfoil hat.
Nah.
And I'm just like, dude, I'm not. It's just years of research, man. I've done this.
We're doing a post-apocalyptic plan.
A video.
A video? You want to do a video?
I'll do a video, not a full episode.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
I feel like we should have maybe one person on there as well too to talk about it.
An expert.
You want to do an expert?
Yes. So I don't sound crazy.
You want to get a doomsday prepper?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Well, don't call them doomsday preppers. That makes them sound crazy too.
Is it what they are?
Yes, but just don't make me sound crazy.
No, everyone has at least an idea or a plan of what to do after.
Yes, but I have a plan.
But you have a step-by-step plan.
Yes.
I want to hear this.
Okay, we'll talk about it. How about this? We'll talk about it in the next issue.
Maybe we'll see what happens.
We'll see. Okay, fine. We'll see.
Because I do like the idea of making it as a video.
It would be interesting to see it with the Fallout. If more stuff from Fallout gets announced.
Deal.
Okay. There we go. So we'll do that.
Okay. I like how we're planning.
Yes.
I like how we're planning it out as we're recording.
This is our process, guys. This is what it is.
Sorry, this whole B-roll of a conversation.
You get what you get.
Yeah. So,
I
forgot. Okay.
Let me
backtrack it to PlayStation. I literally forgot what we were talking about.
They already know that we tangent all the time.
My God. But what were you gonna say?
So let me tell you this, okay? Maybe this might discourage you from actually waiting for a PlayStation or a 5 and going back to a PlayStation 4. Yeah. PlayStation or Sony has at least been very strong on trying to move you forward generation-wise.
Yeah.
Whereas, because like I said in the video, I associate myself with Xbox.
Yeah.
And then I've started to go into the PC market more. Mm-hmm. So for me, the Series X is where I've been paying more of my attention, but Sony has slowly, gradually taken my attention away and made me interested in what they're producing. Mm-hmm. The problem is that if you are pushing the next generation and saying like, oh, well, if you have a PlayStation 4, your DualShock 4 is not going to work on a PlayStation 5. We're not going to progress most of your stuff from a 4 to a 5 because coding doesn't work or whatever. They haven't necessarily established themselves as a dominant force to progress or to ease from one generation to another. Does that discourage you at all or no?
Yes and no. I mean, I've always, like you said, they've done a good job of, pushing you into getting the new console and stuff like that. And it seems like with this one being backwards compatible and stuff like that, that the transition from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 is not going to be a big leap just yet. Possibly now that we've mentioned that they are going to be limiting the release of how many consoles that will be out, I think because they haven't made enough and they don't want to make a lot.
Pandemic.
Yeah, it's a thing, and making a lot, and then also they don't know that all of them will work. There'll probably be maybe some factory defaults or something like that.
That's always been That's man, that's gonna suck.
That's why it's like I've never ever got a console on release. I've never got a console.
If you buy the console on release, you are essentially an early adapter.
Yeah.
That's in my opinion, that's pretty much what you are, because you're testing bugs out. They haven't refined every detail to it.
And then the software might not be great right away. It could crash right then and there. That's the thing.
Software's always finalized, but I always feel like they always produce like some sort of update within a couple months that kind of stabilizes it.
Yeah. I remember this past week, the PlayStation Network was down for a bit.
That's PlayStation Network. That's been the PlayStation. That's been the PSN for like years.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good system. It's a good, it's a good interface, but
it's an easy interface. It's a user-friendly interface. That's why
I've actually liked it a little bit more than the Xbox's interface. I'm starting to like it.
Yeah. Well, I like the whole, at least with the PlayStation Plus subscription. I mean, I'm used to that. That's why I'm not too sure how Xbox does it. I know Xbox was a little bit different at some point.
They've now implemented a system where they're trying to transition out of just buying Xbox Live Gold, and they're trying to get you to subscribe to their Game Pass with the Gold, so you have those free games to download.
Oh, okay.
From the subscription, it's like $15.99, and then
on top of the Gold.
With the Gold included.
How much is Gold?
By itself, I don't remember. I haven't looked at the prices because I do the Ultimate, the Game Pass Ultimate.
Oh, okay.
So I have the Game Pass with the actual.
Because with the PlayStation Plus, for the whole year, it's only $60.
That's not bad.
You're paying half. Because normally a month it's $10 a month.
Yeah.
And so that you're literally getting a deal every year. You're just paying like for 6 months, and the rest of the 6 months is free. Basically.
Well, just kind of to ease into, because I know we're running short on time already. We still have to talk about the main topic. Yeah. For me, at least, PlayStation right now is kind of killing it in that gaming market because it's appealing to the gamer.
Yeah.
Where it's like, if you just want to play games, you're just going to play games.
Yeah.
You want to play Ghost of Tsushima? Then here you go. Here's Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah. You want to play the Spider-Man game? Here it is. You want a service that's cheap and you can just immediately play games and play with your friends? Here it is. Yeah. Never been a fan of its like network because I've always felt like it's a little bit weird. I've tried it. I just don't feel comfortable. But I think it's just because I've been so used to the Xbox Live social, what do you call it? The social aspect of Xbox Live. But I do see the appeal for PlayStation, that it's a lot easier to get into. Yeah. It's not that expensive. Xbox right now is becoming more of a service, and that's kind of scaring a lot of people. Yeah. Because if you want the Xbox Live or the Xbox community, you have to pay for the service. Xbox Live, you can get it with the Ultimate Pass. Yeah. So if you have PC, you can play those games on your PC, but you can also have the console. And so it's becoming more of like a community with all these different perks. I see. And I feel like that could scare a lot of the people and say like, well, if I have to invest this amount of money to be in that community, I don't want to. Maybe just spend half to get into an easier community like the PlayStation community. Yeah,
because with PlayStation, you're just playing the online. You can still play games. You can still you can still download certain games. But the PlayStation Plus is basically you get early access to certain games that are specifically just to PlayStation. And also you just play online.
Exactly.
And that's it.
The PlayStation lineup has been better, in my opinion, when it comes to exclusives and stuff. But here's my prediction. We'll end it on our predictions on the stuff. I think that PlayStation or Sony will produce big numbers for its sales, but community player wise, Microsoft might come out and say we're better. And that's because now not only is it going to include numbers from Xbox users, but it's going to include the PC users as well. So now they're doubling from two different pools. Whereas Sony will only use the PlayStation 5 pool to talk about its numbers. So I kind of have a feeling that the numbers for Sony will be higher, but Microsoft will tilt some stuff in their direction to make it seem like they're bigger because their community pool is a lot bigger. Yeah. Okay. What about you?
My prediction is a little bit different. Mine's basically like, I think that with the PlayStation 5 going to be released, obviously people are going to try and get as much as they can. But I think when it does get released, obviously I think PlayStation 4 sales are going to go up a little bit more than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's going to be cheaper, obviously. And you could still use a PlayStation 4 during PlayStation 5, so it's not like it's going to be like a complete like...
Well, the generational gap is always kind of like meshed in.
Yeah.
You can stay within the last generation for like a year and a half to 2 years until it completely gets, not disassembled, but it just kind of phases out, and then they kind of push you into a place or the next generation.
Yeah.
Usually with sales or incentives and stuff like that.
I might wait either 6 months to a year to get a new...
You'll wait the year because you're going to get it for next Black Friday. Not this holiday season, but the next one.
I might just buy a new PlayStation 4 because I don't have a PlayStation 4. It's broken right now.
Yeah.
I might just buy a new PlayStation 4 when the price drops. I think it'll probably drop either like $100 or $150.
PlayStation 4 still has some great stuff on there. If
definitely.
you haven't played Spider-Man, it's on there.
Yeah.
Last of Us and Last of Us 2 is still killing it.
I haven't played Last of Us 2,
so that's killing it.
Yeah.
Horizon.
I've never played Horizon. Yeah.
There you go. You have all those games, and I've been interested in them as well. Just haven't had the time because we've been working on this stuff and still doing our daily lives. Yeah. So that's gonna be pretty much wrapping up that topic.
Portion. Yeah.
Yes. What's the time right now?
40 minutes.
40 minutes.
Not bad.
Let's spend the 20 minutes on the main topic now.
Okay, yeah.
All right. So this week, we're going to go back to our roots.
Yes.
So how we started issue 0. Before we go on, I am so sorry. I've been hearing it. The cricket in the background.
Yeah, that's what we deal with here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a noisy little guy.
We're sorry if you guys are listening to this and you hear that in the background. I'll try my hardest to kind of denoise it and just make it out. But I guess we have a special guest here in the Hall of Nerdom. Unwanted, but here.
I will find you. And I will kill you.
No, catch and release.
Okay, we'll say that.
All right,
that's the official statement.
So, main topic of this episode, Rene, this is your realm.
Yes.
So, let's go ahead. You start this off.
Oh, okay. So, this week, guys, was the first release of the official Batman 3 Jokers issue 1, where basically in this storyline, it has been hinted since, I think, 3 or 4 years ago in Darkseid Wars, that there has been in the DC universe, this is canon now, in the DC universe, there have been 3 Jokers over the whole span of decades with Batman's history with the Joker.
This is written by
Geoff Johns.
He was mentioned in issue 0?
In the Rebirth?
No. In when we talked about this 3 Jokers.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because this is the guy that had the controversy, right?
Yeah. Well, no, that one. He had some controversy because
this isn't the same guy that we talked about, right?
No.
One that. Okay, so this is a different controversy.
This is different controversy. Geoff Johns was the head writer of everything DC and stuff like that. He was the overlooker. Now it's Jim Lee. And
okay. So that's why that name sounds familiar.
Yeah. Okay. So Jim Lee's now the new head overlooker for all DC comic books, but Geoff Johns was, and he's also a screenwriter for multiple DC shows as well too. Flash, Arrow when that came out as well too. Titans, he's a writer for Titans.
Okay.
And Stargirl as well too. And
so what's the controversy?
He had controversy because apparently on the set of Justice League, him and Joss Whedon weren't professionally great to their staff, apparently.
I see.
So that's been coming out and stuff. So this is why this book has been getting mixed reviews. I feel like people are nitpicking it because overall, this book was great.
There's a lot of bias when it comes to... Here's the thing. And this isn't to talk down on journalists or, reporters and stuff.
No, yeah.
It's a hard job to do. But, more recently, it's, for me at least, it's kind of been exposed that a lot of these writers kind of put in their own biases into a lot of the stuff that they're writing about. And so it kind of ends up ruining your overall look of this thing. And like one of the reviews I was looking at, it was kind of saying that this is a very confusing first issue and that's not really looking good for issue number 2, and that the arc for issue 3 is just kind of looking to be a little bit messy because now you're bringing in 2 other Jokers when there was always just one. It looked weird, and I'm like, that's not fair. That's why I was reading it, and then I came to pick up the issue because I'm like, why not? Let's talk about this in the podcast. Bring it back to our old original roots about comic books. I read it, and I was like, holy crap, man, this is a fantastic issue.
Mind you, Geoff Johns originally wasn't he studied film writing. He's a script writer.
Okay.
That's how he learned how to write.
He's building a lot of anticipation in this issue.
Yes, there's so much that I was shocked that he revealed within the middle of the issue, which I thought was normally would be like the end of an issue for certain DC writers as well
he
too.
just
like the whole okay, again, spoiler guys, we're gonna talk about this issue, so if you haven't read this issue, basically I don't know, come back. Read it, come to Undercity, buy it here, read it, and then come back at 45 minutes of it.
There you go. See,
45 minutes of the episode right now.
Okay, so
I'm gonna spoil something right now.
There's some big spoilers.
Yes.
Okay, so spoiler, give them 2 seconds while the cricket in the background sings. Okay, now we're good. Now you've given it all the people that have decided to stay and listen to the Three Jokers, talking about the Three Jokers. They're here. Let's go into this.
So basically,
okay, yes.
What I will reveal right now is that he reveals all the three Jokers meeting each other in the middle of the issue.
Yes.
It's the middle of the issue, and he does that. And I think that's great because normally that would be the end of the first issue. Mm-hmm. But no, there's more because he's telling something about each issue is going to tackle on a specific Joker. Yes.
Oh, is it?
That's what it seems like because at the end of this one, the fate of this Joker was already sealed, that by the time of this episode. I mean, you read it,
Yes. So we'll build to that.
We'll build to that, yeah.
Before we go into the story, real quick question. Jason Fabak.
Yes.
He also did what?
He wrote,
because the art here is beautiful.
Yeah, no, he's also known as being like, he kind of draws this, he's like a cross between like David Finch, or no, like not David Finch, Tony Daniel, and Jim Lee kind of put into one,
Who's the illustrator here? Let me see. I think he's not the illustrator. Yeah, Jason Fabak is the illustrator.
Yeah.
So what has he? What other work has he done?
Well, he's done Justice League with Geoff Johns as well too.
Okay.
And he's done. Oh man, let me see.
Because this is very reminiscing of some other issues of Batman. Because I know that the main, and this is years. This is almost like 2-3 years ago. Mm-hmm. What's his name? Snyder and
Capullo. Yeah.
Those guys were the ones that were killing it. With Batman for years. It's like the iconic look of Batman. But this is very reminiscing of like old Batman art. Mm-hmm. Which is really good. It's really beautiful to look at. Very dark.
Yeah.
Very heavy, like refined lines, as well. Mm-hmm. You're trying to look up what else he's done.
What else he's done?
Okay.
What he's
while you look that up, I'm gonna put. I'm gonna talk a little bit about the beginning of the issue.
Go for it. Yeah, because you just read it. Yeah.
Yes. So my impact. My initial impact on this was at the beginning of the issue as Alfred's kind of stitching Batman up. You see all his scars, and he's revisiting moments of when he got his scars. So like there was a part where his back was like all messed up, and the next panel is Bane basically crushing his back. Or when the Riddler burns him with the staff, you see that in the back right there, or in his side as well.
Oh, that was great.
Catwoman with the scratches in the front. The Joker piercing him with like the stick that comes out of the gun on his neck, like all these different things. Like he's been scarred. This is a Batman that's been hurt. So they've established that this Batman has already had a run with a lot of these people, and that these scars are representative of what he's gone through.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things coming out of that is that all these scars are fixable to him. Mm-hmm. Like he doesn't care for them. He does mention that the deepest wound, the one that can never be fixed, is the one where his parents died in front of him. This.
Oh God.
It's we always
that's like poetry right there.
Yeah, and here's the thing. Yes, we all know the story of Batman. We know how he came to be. We know what influenced him to become the Batman. Mm-hmm. But it's always very satisfying to rehear it and to be told that, like, to be told about it in that way, because it always, like you said, it's poetry. It's really good. I like the fact that they also put Zorro in the theater because I grew up watching Zorro, and I'm like, Geoff Johns or whoever did it. Yeah. Maybe it was Jason Fabak. I'm like, it was good.
I remember in the comic books, they mentioned that it was always like a play or it was a movie. It was like either the Mark of Zorro or the Mask of Zorro and stuff. So that's what drew Bruce to kind of be like that.
A masked vigilante. I grew up I was Zorro maybe 4 times as a kid. I loved that character. Yeah. I loved being him. His little sombrero with a black mask and then his sword that goes.
Yeah.
Oh, I freaking love that. Did the cricket literally just stop? I killed it.
So really quick, so Jason Fabak has done Batman Eternal. He's done a bunch of Detective Comics story arcs, Justice League, Superman, Swamp Thing, and Man of Steel with Brian Michael Bendis.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So he's
done a lot of recent.
He's been
stuff.
around there as well.
He's done a lot of recent. Oh, and Suicide Squad as well.
Okay. So now now that we know Jason Fabok's work, Geoff Johns' work as well. You mentioned that this is a story of 3 different Jokers, because originally we always thought that there was one.
We always thought there was always just one Joker.
Okay. And so these 3 Jokers are identified by 3 major events that happen or that are showcased in this first issue. One of them being the killer of Jason Todd.
Yes.
The other one being
the one that shot Barbara Gordon in the back.
And the last one?
And the last one being the one that fell in the toxic waste.
Okay, my question is this. I thought the toxic waste one was the one that killed Barbara Gordon. Or not killed her, but paralyzed her.
No, that was apparently, that one's apparently the one in the toxic waste one is the one that's all serious. Mm-hmm. That's the one, apparently.
Okay, I need to reread that because that's not what I got.
Yeah, they don't really. I mean, that's if anything, that's the one gripe. They don't explain which Joker is which. I mean, we were supposed to know basically. Like
you're left to assume. Yeah. Like off your knowledge.
Well, I mean, we know that the first 2 Jokers are who they are, and then like the third Joker, the one that's kind of like the main one, I guess, isn't established yet of what Joker he is. He's just kind of you see him sitting there on the table, kind of going like this. And he was the one that basically went after the mafia in that one that killed the mafia members. Because this Joker, the one that this Joker in particular towards the end was the one that stole the chemicals at the
chemical
Ace,
vat.
And killed those Ace Chemical workers.
The ones that were representative of, because supposedly it's led to assume. So he leaves 3 bodies at the chemical plant. Yeah. After stealing the Ace vat that created
Joker,
quote unquote the Joker, right? And he leaves the 3 bodies. They're not the same people that he killed or that were talked about at the beginning of the issue, because these 3 murders basically happened all at the same time.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So these 3, Batman assumes or knows or states that they're homeless. Yeah. That they're essentially just victims that represent the Mox, the Moxen. Am I pronouncing that right? Yeah. Moxen, one of the Moxen heads, a comedian, and the psychiatrist at Arkham. Yeah. Right? So those were just left there. Yeah. And he's giving out clues about why and where this might be going to because he dresses him up as the original Red Hood. Yeah. Okay. So there's that. It goes deeper into pretty much the where we get introduced to the Red Hood, Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, and Batman, trying to figure out where they might have taken the chemicals and stuff like that. Yeah,
that's the one thing they were worried about. It's like they took a large amount of chemicals, so what are their plans to do with it?
Yes. And then from there, once we kind of get this whole ambulance chase scene, that's when we get to the introduction of the 3 Jokers. Yes. And those are the ones that we just mentioned, right? And it's kind of weird because they're dressed in the costumes or they're dressed in the looks that were representative of them during those main events.
Yeah, they're like iconic looks.
Yes. So these are what is the series that had Jason Todd
Death in the Family.
Death in the Family.
Death in a Family. Yeah.
And then the Killing Joke was the Barbara Gordon one.
Yeah.
And then what was the last one? Do you know? Do we know? Or is that just a mainline Batman Joker?
I think that was supposed to be the mainline Batman Joker. Yeah.
Batman Joker.
Batman's Joker.
Batman's Joker. Yeah. Okay, so these are all 3 different Jokers for 3 different people in the Bat family.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we go into the aquarium portion or should we just jump straight into the ending?
Yeah, go to the aquarium portion.
The aquarium portion. Yeah. Okay, so they go into the aquarium, which is something that Jason Todd essentially finds out through clues after beating the Joker thugs, and we meet one of Joker's old accomplices. What's his name?
Oh man,
Hang on. Gaggy.
Yeah.
The court jester.
The court jester of Joker.
Yeah. Interesting because they make a reference to it saying that he hasn't used him in a very long time.
So apparently this is early Joker.
Yeah. Stuff. So why are you bringing Gaggy back? He ends up dying. Basically, Jason Todd shoots the
shark tank,
which houses the chemicals in there. Part of the chemicals is what Batman says, and basically the shark eats him up. And these fish and shark are pretty dang scary.
Yeah, they're all smiling too.
They're all smiling and stuff. And then Joker comes out. Yes. One of the Jokers comes out.
Now, I'm thinking this is Jason Todd's Joker.
Yes. No, it is Jason Todd's Joker because this is the one that basically, after the fight and Batman beats him up, obviously this is the whole thing. We haven't even gotten to the good part yet. Commissioner Gordon basically calls Batman and tells him that they might have caught a second Joker.
Yeah.
So he leaves Batgirl and Red Hood, Jason Todd, to basically
keep him there
until they can escort him to Arkham Asylum. So, not to discourage you guys to not to read this, because it's definitely a big read and something that should be picked up. It is a big, big issue. I think that this could potentially lead to something big. I do want to mention a line in here because this Joker, it made me smile. Yes, like I've said this before, no Joker should be enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I smiled because it made me uncomfortable, which is what I miss about a Joker.
Yeah.
So the line, and I'll let you kind of discuss on this because it is very impactful. He pretty much tries to get inside Jason Todd's head, and which Batman has always done, and in my opinion, successfully done multiple times to multiple people in the Bat family.
Yeah.
But basically tells him that during the moments where he was beating up Jason Todd and cracking his skull open with the crowbar, he recalls of a line that was never mentioned in the series in Death in the Family.
Death in the Family, yeah.
And he says that he remembers those words that Jason Todd told him because I cherish those words. I'll always cherish them. And he says, "Please stop. Please. If you let me live, I'll do anything you say. I'll be your Robin." That line essentially just explained the existence of the Red Hood because he essentially became what that Joker was.
Yeah.
His original identity. So he became a Joker in a sense. That line is massive.
That's really it's really impactful because you would I shouldn't say never think of that. It's just for that to be revealed. For that to be told up front. He was going through so much and he was willing to do anything to make sure that Joker wasn't going to stop. To make sure that Joker would stop. He even tried to basically bargain with him.
Yes.
And a Robin has never done that.
No, this was a scared Robin.
Yeah.
And yes, this is a scared... He has every right to be this
That's the
kid.
thing.
This is a kid we're talking about.
Yeah, he was young. He was like maybe like a preteen, if anything, or maybe a teenager.
Yes. Even. Beaten to death.
Yeah.
With a crowbar.
Yes.
Left gasping for air.
Yeah.
And basically begging to basically let live. To a point where he was bargaining with him and saying, "I'll be your Robin. I'll be your accomplice. I'll ditch Batman to save my life."
Yeah.
It's massive.
Yeah.
But the fact that like Geoff Johns essentially just kind of gave us an upfront definition of why the Red Hood exists as the Red Hood, it's shocking. It's like, holy crap. Like, we kind of knew, it's kind of assumed already that he became his killer's former identity, persona. But like to be told up front is pretty big in my opinion. It's a pretty big deal. Do you have anything that you want to put into from that? Because for me, that gave me chills.
No, I think it's more the lines of after what happens.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so by the end of that, it basically pushes Jason Todd over the edge to the point where, he starts pointing a gun at him. And Barbara Gordon is not letting it happen or doesn't want to let it happen because that's not what they do. And that's not what Jason should do. But, Jason, of course, Joker's egging him on. He wants to do it.
As Joker always does.
And, because Joker always believes, he always does that to Batman just to basically see what would happen. And, Joker keeps egging him on, and Barbara's still, she's like threatening him with with her own batarang. And basically he shoots his gun and it kills the Joker. And you see Barbara Gordon try to stop it, throws her batarang, and it hits the wall instead. And one of the things that got me was that, they're just sitting there and she goes, "What have you done? What have you done?" And then Jason Todd replies, goes, "Don't act like you didn't want me to do this.
When have you ever missed?
When have you ever missed?" And looks at the batarang. And then Barbara Gordon just looks at him and goes, "Screw you, Jason," and just walks out.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's these small little moments.
Yeah, because we all know of her history with the Joker as well too. Yeah. And for that to be also pointed out as well too, that was like, wow, we know that she probably there was a part of her maybe,
None of these people that are in this issue want the Joker to live. And we've been told already before that the existence of Joker only exists essentially to keep Batman going. What was it? Death of the Family?
Yeah.
The one where Batman ends up killing himself along with the Joker.
Oh no, that's Endgame.
Is it? It is Endgame. Okay,
yeah.
that is Endgame. But death of the family is the one that preluded that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That preluded that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, death. Yeah, that was the other Joker storyline as well too.
Yeah. So these three characters have very, very, very impactful history with the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. This is heavy. This is a heavy book. This is a heavy book. Let's see. We mentioned that Barbara Gordon missed, or she quote unquote missed.
Yeah.
Jason Todd shot the Joker. So there's theoretically 2 other Jokers left.
Obviously, yeah,
we have know of.
Yeah, Batman just left to get this other Joker right now, and we're left with basically Jason Todd sitting there, not sitting there, but standing over Joker's dead body, saying, "I hope I killed the right one."
But we all know that killing the Joker doesn't ever mean anything.
No.
His impact still stays there.
That's
Even
the
if
thing.
there's 2 other Jokers, the Joker's existence is still, it's... And we've learned about this throughout like multiple Batman issues, is that even if you kill the Joker, his impact will forever still be ingrained inside these people that he's affected. Let me ask you this. As the comic book, expert amongst us two, where do you think issue 2 is going to lead into?
I think, if anything, it's going to give us a little bit more, but not a total reveal of how these Jokers are existing or how they did it, because they even said, when all these 3 Jokers were together, they said they're going to try and make more of them.
Okay.
And that was really interesting because it's like, okay, so obviously they tried it 2 times, and these are the Jokers that came out to be and stuff.
Okay.
And I'm expecting issue 2 to basically, obviously, I think we're gonna deal with the Killing Joke Joker. I think that's the Joker we're gonna deal with. And
Barbara's Joker,
yeah. And I feel like something might happen with this Joker too, because I think what they're doing is that they're basically gonna kill off each Joker leading up to the one that has the major plan. And I don't know, like you said before, this is leading to something big at the end. I think
the last issue is pretty much going to be like the big one.
Yeah, I think the last issue.
Obviously the last issue is going to be a big one, but like this is going to be like probably storytelling changing. Like it'll change the story, the way the stories are told from here on out.
Yeah, it already shook up the whole canon already. This issue alone, revealing certain things, showing us certain things, and then things happen to Joker and stuff already and stuff. So I don't know. I could only assume that issue 2 will focus on the Killing Joke Joker.
Quick thoughts on your, like, a quick little 2 minute to a minute review, a minute to 2 minute review of this issue number 1.
Yeah, issue number 1, I really enjoyed it. The art was really great. I kept, it sucked me in as soon as I read it. Like you said, it opened really well with telling us all the scars and injuries Batman has faced over the years and stuff. I really liked how they just basically just revealed all 3 Jokers in the middle of the issue, not even at the end. It was just basically like, no, here it is. And then basically ending it the way it is. I really like that, that this is a 3-issue series. It's not going to be a dragged out thing.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. That it's basically Geoff Johns knows what he's doing. Like, he knows that, okay, we're going to basically within 3 issues, we're just going to do this. We're going to tell this story. We're going to do that. And then I think in issue 3, he's basically going to reveal what he was hinting at since, was it Justice League 2 or 3 years ago, So, I mean, I'm really excited for it. I've never been super into a Batman series like this since, was it like maybe Death Metal? Or not Death Metal, or Metal, Dark Knight's Metal, when that first came out. Because I was really excited for that, each issue for that one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
For me, I only have one prediction about where this is going to be. I personally think that Geoff Johns is going to solidify the existence of the Joker as not being a persona, but an entity.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. So there could be a possibility that all 3 Jokers that we know of will end up dying in this issue. But the whole revolving idea is that no matter how many Jokers you kill, his impact and his existence will always exist. You can kill them as many Jokers as you want, but the Joker will forever exist. There'll be more and more and more.
Basically how kind of like Batman is.
Exactly.
It's like the two it's like dark and light. The two always have to exist.
Exactly.
To even just have a balance.
This is just my prediction on this whole thing. Maybe
No,
I'm wrong, but I would like that kind of aspect to come out of this because
definitely.
We've always been. You and I both agree that the Joker has never had a solid creation, right? And are you that kind of person that's like you don't want to know how he came to be?
Yeah, basically, like I don't really want like a definitive origin. I would like to have an idea of like where he could have been or what, because the Joker always been a character that just kind of just like has appeared. It's always been implicated that like the Joker went this crazy because either it was like, he either just saw life how it is and just it snapped in his head and or it was because of the ace chemicals that just turned him that it was just like an accident.
There's always these different theories that come up and different writers take on his origins differently. So it'd be interesting to kind of see Geoff Johns go forward with that and be like, Joker's never been a person. He's always just been an idea. And different mantles have existed throughout the years that take the name Joker and have always messed with the Bat family. Review wise for this one, I thoroughly enjoyed it. For you, it was, what was it? Did you say Metal?
Metal, yeah.
For me, it was Endgame.
Oh, okay.
Endgame. I haven't been this excited for a Batman series since Endgame, and I've read a couple other ones, but they haven't been as impactful as Endgame. Especially the last portion of it, where the Joker and Batman basically fight in front of the Lazarus pit, and the Lazarus pit closes, and they both die.
That's beautiful.
That was great. So this is reminiscing of that, and I really, really enjoy it. More than anything, I enjoyed the little Easter egg kind of things. I enjoyed the Zorro little thing in the background. Like I said, I grew up with Zorro, so that was enjoyable. The little back and forth between Jason Todd and Batman in the Batmobile. Let me find that line real quick because I know we're running out of time pretty quickly. Let me see. It was a conversation where they had in the Batmobile, and pretty much he said, "Why can I not find this?" Give me 1 second. Basically, he comments on the seat of the Batmobile and says, "Why are your seats always so small?" And
he's like, "Every time I've been on here, it feels like you don't want anyone sitting next to you."
Basically, yeah.
And then Batman replies, "You're projecting."
Here it is.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good work, Jason. But if you should have shared everything with me as you found it, we could have saved lives. You're the one who Okay, and then he says, "Hey, when are we going to fix these seats? Every single Batmobile I've ever been in, the passenger seat is too small. It's like you really don't want anyone sitting here." And he says, "You're projecting, Jason." It's a great little back and forth. And then they mention the bat light as well because he's using an OG bat suit, the one with the yellow circle.
Yeah, I think that's because I think Geoff Johns has always liked that suit, that type of suit for Batman, because in every Batman that he writes, he always has like the circle or the round emblem.
It's his own take on this, which is really good.
Which is fine.
Yeah. So let's see what issue 2 and 3 happen, and I say we revisit it back in the podcast once those issues come out.
Yes.
So yeah. All right, Rene, is there anything else? Any final thoughts?
No.
We're good?
Yeah, I'm
All
good.
right, let's wrap this podcast up.
All
right. So quick little podcast. We're recording on a Friday evening, so just to kind of get things going. We were really excited to talk about the 3 Jokers once we planned this out literally day of.
Yeah, I know.
It was like, oh, shoot. So yeah, it's been good. If you guys are listening to this on Podbean or Spotify, please jump on over to our YouTube channel. Like I said, there are a couple videos on there, especially those DC FanDome ones that we worked on. Those were a lot of work. We did a lot of planning and a lot of kind of preparation for this. So if you guys want, please go on over to our YouTube channel, subscribe on there. We're at 24 subscribers. We want to hit that 50 mark so we can get like our custom URL on YouTube. So help us out. And if you guys are listening to this on YouTube, jump on over to our Podbean and Spotify. We have, those episodes will be uploaded there as well at 11:30. Podcasts always come out Wednesdays at 11:30. So if you want to be on time, hit that notification button on each one, just so that way you guys know when these episodes come out. And we always encourage people to let us know what you guys think about these episodes.
Feedback. We want to hear feedback.
Feedback, compliments, concerns, anything. Interact with us. We will mention you guys on here. Friend of the show, Rebel and Bishop, they always talk to us. What was his name? Gibby?
Oh, Gibby, Eric, a.k.a. Gibby.
Eric, a.k.a. Gibby. We thank you guys. Like all these different things that, that you guys tell us. We appreciate it. We love you guys for it. So just let us know. And stop by the shop too. Renee's always here. Yeah.
I'm always here.
Renee's always here. You'll catch me here sometimes as well. Just depends on how busy I am. But yeah. Yeah, but we thank you guys. So with that said, Ready to close this out?
Go for it.
All right, here we go. I'm the outro, so let's do this. Thank you, citizens, for listening to this issue of Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. This is Bryan.
Rene.
Coming to you from 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California. Recording at Undercity Comics. We thank you, citizens, once again, and hope to see you all next time.